UFC 270 Ngannou versus Gane full card prediction. We got 13 fights on the entire fight card. So Real Gane, the interim heavyweight champion with 10 wins and 0 losses, fighting Francis Ngannou, the actual champion with 16 wins and 3 losses. Every single one of them being finishes, which is absolutely insane. We got Figueiredo Moreno 3. We got the trilogy. We got Alexei Oleinik, Greg Hardy, grappler versus striker. We got Evloev versus Topuria. Very, very good wrestlers and grapplers and even strikers. That one is going to be crazy. 11-0 and 15-0. On the prelims, we got Rodolfo, Vieira, Wellington, Turman, Said Nurmagomedov, Cody, Stamann, Michael Morales, Trevin, Giles, Genaro, Valdéz, and Matt Frevola, Viviane, Araujo, and Alexa Grasso, Saimon, Oliveira, and Tony Gravely, Poliana, Botelho, I don't know how to say that one, Yeon Kim, Della, Maddalena, and Warlley, Alves, as well as Jasmine, Jasudavicius, and Hansen. But it's a very solid card. I mean, not necessarily on the main card in star power, because if you look, Greg Hardy, Alexei Oleinik is a main card fight on a pay-per-view. I would say probably add like a Tony Ferguson versus literally anyone. I would probably add Michael Chandler versus literally anyone. I mean, just add one more really big fight, because right now there's only 4 fights on that main card, so they need a little bit more, oomph to make that main card really pop and really stand out. Because right now, just these 4 fights. I mean, yeah, we got 2 title fights. Yeah, we got undefeated prospects. It needs a little bit more, but it's going to be a good fight card. We're going to give our predictions for every single one of these 13 fights right there. So we're going to go on to the first one in the women's flyweight division. Jasmine, Jasudavicius, and Hansen in the flyweight division. Hansen is going to be way younger, 22 and a half years old, compared to Jasmine Jasudavicius, who's going to be around 32, almost 33 years old. So the age advantage definitely goes Hansen, as well as the experience advantage. She's going to be more experienced and 10 years younger, which is absolutely insane. But the height and reach, that is another thing you really got to look at, because Jasmine's going to be 5 inches taller and have a 5-inch reach advantage. Tapology 50-50. Betting odds, I'm presuming, are going to be pretty 50-50. Maybe they're going to be leaning towards Hansen to win the fight. Oh my god, Hansen is at minus 240. That is a lot. And it should be a lot closer. It's a much, much closer fight than minus 240. That's absolutely insane. But to the prediction, Jasmine Jasudavicius, 6 wins and 1 loss. Striking, it's pretty god-awful. I mean, in the last fight, Julie Prolastri, the only reason she won, she was able to land the takedown, and she was able to keep Julie Prolastri there and land some really devastating ground and pound. I don't know if she'll be able to do that on Hansen, take her down and land that ground and pound. I don't see that happening, but overall, that was how she won the fight. Her striking really isn't the best. She's really good in the clinch and with the body shots. First shot, body shot knockout, and a knee knockout win right there. So if she's going to win in the striking, it would be more towards the clinch, where she can land the elbows, she can land the knees, she can just kind of just stay at range and use her height and reach to win the fight that way. But overall, Jasmine, she needs to fight to stay on the feet. I don't think she'll be able to take down Hansen. I don't think she'll be able to out-wrestle, out-grapple Hansen. Is just the way better wrestler and grappler over Jasmine Jasudavicius. So overall, the game plan for Jasmine, defend the takedowns, not go for any takedowns, use her height, use her reach, jab 1-2, kickbox at range, and whenever Hansen goes in for the takedown, get the underhooks, get her back to the cage, and just knee, elbow, and just look to out-volume Hansen in the striking. That would be the game plan for Jasmine Jasudavicius to win the fight. For Hansen, it's very simple. Go out there, pressure Jasmine, take her down over and over again, and win a dominant decision, or maybe even a submission as well. But it's a very close fight. I mean, minus 240 is god-awful. Those odds are ridiculous, in my opinion, to be quite honest with you. They should be way closer. But I'm still going to go Hansen. I think she should probably be like minus 125, minus 120, somewhere around that range. She should not at all be a minus 240 favorite. But I'm going to go Hansen very slightly, because she does have the wrestling and grappling advantage. I believe she grinds out a very hard-fought decision here. But again, Jasmine is a very live underdog. She has the better striking. Both of their strikings are absolute garbage, in my opinion. Hansen got outstroke Not outstruck by Jinyu Frey in their fight. Jasmine got outstruck by Julie Palacio. So both girls striking, it's just not that good. But if I had to give the advantage, it would be Jasmine. So she's a live dog just for that. Just for that fact, she can land the knees, she can land the elbows, she can use the height and the reach. But overall, Hansen with the wrestling and grappling should be able to use that and win the fight by decision. So my prediction, Hansen by decision right there, 29-28 unanimous decision. Really good fight in the flyweight division. Warlley, Alves, and Della Maddalena in the welterweight division. 10 wins, 2 losses, and 14 wins and 5 losses. The prime of his MMA career, and a little bit before the prime. But right here, Jack is making his first fight in the UFC, whereas Warlley Alves, I don't know, maybe his 15th, 16th fight in the UFC. Started off with a guillotine as an undefeated fighter. Decision, Alan Jouban, beat Nordine Taleb, beat Colby Covington. Then he went on a little losing streak, losing to Brian Barberena, losing to the champion in Kamaru Usman. Got 2 wins in a row against a 10-1 guy and a 14-2 guy. Lost to James Krause, lost to Randy Brown, and lost to Jeremiah Wells. So for a while now, for the last 3 years, win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. So maybe he gets a win here and keeps on that little win-loss streak that he's been going on. But overall, the game plan of both guys, Warlley Alves going out there, looking to kind of keep the fight at range, use the kicking skills that we definitely saw in the Munir Lazzez fight. He's a very, very good kickboxer, has really good body kicks, really good high kicks, decent leg kicks as well. That'd be the game plan. Warlley, just stay in a range on the back foot, land the body kicks, and just overall stand at range, and that would be the game plan. The height and the reach, very, very close. Not really an advantage to either guy. Jack Della Maddalena will have the boxing advantage. Warlley Alves will have the kickboxing advantage. The wrestling is very, very close. I'm going to say 50-50. I'm not going to give an advantage to either guy there, but the grappling advantage does go Warlley Alves in terms of the guillotine, in terms of the triangle, and literally any submission out there. Warlley has the grappling, Warlley has the kickboxing, but Jack Della Maddalena has the boxing. So it's a very, very close fight in my opinion. Minus 200 for Jack Della is a little bit over the line in my opinion, a little bit too much, but I would have to agree. I do believe Jack Della Maddalena will win the fight. He's a lot faster than Warlley Alves, a little bit more powerful than Warlley Alves. Warlley's chin hasn't really looked too good in the last couple of fights, getting knocked out by James Krause, getting submitted by Randy Brown after getting hurt in that fight as well, and then getting knocked out by Jeremiah Wells. But overall, I do believe Jack is going to be more powerful, a little bit faster, have the boxing advantage, not do anything with the wrestling and grappling, keep the fight on the feet, and just have a really high pressure boxing strategy. Just go out there, do what he did against Ange Lusa on the Contender Series, come forward and just boxing combinations all day to the decision. I don't think he's going to knock out Warlley Alves. Warlley's not the guy that's going to get knocked out 2 times in a row. So my prediction right there for the welterweight division is going to be Jack Della Maddalena by a 29-28 decision. I'll give 1 round to Warlley, maybe if he can out-wrestle and grapple. But overall, Jack with the boxing should be able to win 2 out of 3, and probably maybe even 3 out of 3 as well. So unanimous decision win for Jack Della Maddalena. Really good fight in the welterweight division. Poliana Botelho versus Yeon Kim in the flyweight division, if I am saying that last name correct. 32 years old and 33 years old, so not too much of an age advantage right there. The height's very even, but the reach, oh my god, the reach. Yeon Kim having a 5-inch reach advantage over Poliana Botelho. Absolutely insane. Now let's talk the actual prediction. Yeon Kim is going to be the better boxer in my opinion. She's going to be tall, not taller. She's going to be lengthier than Poliana Botelho. She's going to be a little bit more powerful in terms of the hands than Poliana Botelho. Really good jab, really good 1-2. That's really all she kind of does. Keeps her guard high, kind of like Petrion, and just jabs 1-2s. That's really all Yeon Kim does. Coming off of 2 losses with Alexa Grasso, a ranked fighter in the flyweight division, and Molly McCann, the pressure machine. Absolutely insane fight there. But if she wants to win the fight, if Yeon Kim is going to win, it's going to be just keeping the fight at range and not grappling, not wrestling, not doing any of that type of stuff. Keeping the fight on the feet. and just pressuring Poliana. With the reach advantage, she can sneak that jab in a lot in the fight, landing a lot of volume with that jab, a lot of 1-2s, and all that type of stuff. That would be how Yeon Kim will win the fight, how Poliana Botelho is going to win the fight. The grappling is not that good. I mean, she has moments where she can land a takedown here and there. She has moments where her takedown defense is good, where her grappling looks good. She's not very consistent in the wrestling and grappling. That's why I don't really see the wrestling and grappling really playing that big of a factor from either girl. Poliana is maybe she'll have a slight wrestling and grappling advantage, but not enough to where she's going to be taking down Yeon Kim and dominating the fight or anything like that. So this one will stay on the feet. Poliana probably going to be the better kicker, better leg kicking, better body kicking, all that type of stuff. Just the overall better Muay Thai than Yeon Kim. So that could play a factor into her landing the more powerful shots in terms of the body kicks and high kicks and things of that nature. But overall, the volume of Yeon Kim, the judges' scorecards are going to see that. They're going to see Yeon Kim landing 1.5 to 2 times the amount of volume of Poliana Botelho, keeping the fight at range, and she's just going to use that to win the fight by decision. So it's going to be a decent striking fight here, some decent exchanges here and there. If Poliana Botelho wants to win, it needs to be coming forward and throwing the most powerful kick she can possibly throw, and just going crazy. The only way you're going to beat a girl like Yeon Kim is if you pressure her a lot, like Alexa Grasso did, or if you just put on crazy pace, which I don't think Poliana Botelho is going to be able to do. So the fight will stay on the feet for 3 rounds. It will be a decision. In my prediction, Yeon Kim will win the fight by decision right there. I'm going to go a 29-28. Really good fight in the women's flyweight division. Tony Gravely and Saimon Oliveira in the bantamweight division. Tony Gravely, I mean, he was about to win that fight. He was so close to beating Nate Maness in the last fight. Absolutely crazy. Even in the Brett Johns fight, he was decently close to winning that one as well, and they got finished in the later rounds. But overall, he's a very solid wrestler and grappler. A lot of his wins have to do with him just taking it down, slamming you, getting a slam knockout, a submission knockout like there, and then a ground upon knockout right there as well. So the wrestling, I would say, goes Tony Gravely right here. The submission game, I would say, goes Saimon Oliveira. The striking, I would say, goes Tony Gravely in terms of power. But you never know with Saimon Oliveira. I've been watching a lot of Saimon Oliveira's last couple of fights, and he's a crazy dude. He goes out there, does a lot of flying knees, spinning stuff, spinning kicks. Overall, the way Saimon Oliveira wins his fights in the striking is to make it very exciting, very unpredictable, and that could definitely play a factor here. You never know with a guy like Saimon Oliveira. He could just do some crazy stuff, and we can see Tony Gravely, sorry about that, I had a burp, we can just see Tony Gravely's back of the head right on the mat. Any knockout win from Saimon Oliveira, we just really don't know. I mean, he's just that type of guy, very unpredictable, and a finish can honestly come at any time. But he's also going to have the grappling advantage, front choke submission, guillotine. We can go down the list. I mean, if you say guillotine, I really don't care. But he's got a lot of guillotines or guillotines, a lot of submissions from the bottom. That is a thing I really want to look at for the fight. It's because Tony Gravely is a wrestler. He goes out there, pressures you, throws some really big hooks, left hook, overhand right, uppercuts, all that type of stuff, getting your back into the cage and double legging you. We already know the double leg takedown leaves yourself very vulnerable to the guillotine. We already know Saimon Oliveira could very well go out there and submit Tony Gravely. I mean, Tony Gravely's fight with Anthony Burchak, he was caught in a guillotine for a little bit in that fight as well. So I would not be surprised if Saimon Oliveira goes out there, gets taken down, but latches on to a guillotine and wins the fight that way. That is a possibility. But overall, I think Tony Gravely knows that Saimon is a very good wrestler, not a good wrestler, is a very good grappler and has a really good guillotine, and I think his takedown approach is going to be a little bit different. He's going to be looking for trips, a couple more single legs and things like that to kind of minimize the amount of times he's going to be caught in the guillotine from Saimon Oliveira, and I do believe we're just going to see Tony Gravely go out there, win the fight on the feet, just throwing the more powerful shots, landing the takedowns, and grinding out a decision. It's a very good fight in the bantamweight division. If Simon's going to win, it's going to be that guillotine, or it's going to be some crazy knockout on the feet. But I see Tony coming forward, landing some good shots on the feet, taking him down and grinding out that decision. Really good fight in the bantamweight division. Viviane Araujo and Alexa Grasso in the flyweight division. If you look at the UFC rankings for this women's flyweight division, as of right now, let's check. Viviane is at number 6, and then Alexa Grasso is at number 11. So Alexa is getting a very, very big step up in competition, fighting Viviane Araujo. Now, she was supposed to fight Joanne Calderwood before that. She would have won that fight. I mean, she destroyed Yeon Kim. She destroyed Macy Barber. She was supposed to fight Joanne Calderwood. She would have won that fight, and she would probably be ranked right below Viviane Araujo. But it doesn't really matter. She's still getting a fighter right around the same ranking as Joanne Calderwood, and a girl that really does not have the best striking. Viviane Araujo, her game plan: go out there, take it down, and submit you. I mean, her striking has improved in her last couple of fights, but the two things I want to look at is the amount of technique, the amount of speed that she has in her striking, and the cardio that she has in terms of the striking. Yeah, we know Viviane Araujo could go out there and take down Alexa Grasso for 3 rounds and just dominate to a decision, but the cardio doesn't really allow her to do that. Even in the fight with Katlyn Chookagian, her cardio was kind of draining towards the end of the second round and into that third round as well. So the cardio factor is definitely there, and that is definitely an advantage for Alexa Grasso, as well as, of course, Alexa is going to have the way better striking. She's going to be way younger by 7 years. She's going to be a little bit taller, about the same reach. She's faster, she's more powerful, better boxing. Overall, she's going to be the better striker. I don't know how good Alexa Grasso's takedown defense is. That's another thing we really have to look at. But in a lot of the fights I have been tape studying for Alexa Grasso, I really haven't seen her be dominated in the wrestling and grappling, unless you're talking about the Carla Esparza fight. That's the only real fight out there where she was actually taken down multiple different times. But sorry about that. But Carla Esparza, Viviane Araujo, completely different. They are nowhere near the same skills in terms of wrestling and in terms of grappling right there. But if you look at the takedown defense, about 60% for Alexa Grasso. She got taken down 3 times by Macy Barber in her last fight, controlled for only 3 minutes. So she actually controlled Macy Barber for longer. She reversed Macy Barber in that fight. If she does get taken down, she gets right back up, or she reverses the position like she did against Macy Barber in the Carla Esparza fight. I mean, it wasn't even that much of a domination. Yeah, she was taken down quite a lot in that fight. Carla did take her down 4 times, had 7 minutes of control time. But if you look right here, Alexa Grasso reversed the position, got on top for a second, landed some ground strikes of her own, and it really wasn't a domination like we saw Carla versus Yan Xiaonan. So the ability of her just to not get dominated by Carla Esparza, a much better wrestler than Viviane Araujo, that showed a lot. I mean, even the ability to get up multiple different times in that fight and reverse the position even, that's very, very impressive. So those things right there really lead me to believe that Alexa will either be able to defend the takedown, or if she does get taken down, get right back up on the feet or reverse the position or something like that. So there will be some grappling and wrestling involved from Viviane Araujo, but for the most part, it should be around 10, 12, 13 minutes of striking, and if that is the case, which I think it will be, Alexa Grasso is going to be the way better striker. So my prediction right there in the women's flyweight division is going to be Alexa Grasso by a 29-28 decision. I'll give 1 round, probably the first round, with that wrestling and grappling. Then the cardio will start to drain a little bit. She won't be able to land the takedowns as efficiently, and Alexa Grasso's boxing will play into effect. Alexa Grasso, unanimous decision. Really good fight in the women's flyweight division. Matt Frevola and Genaro Valdéz in the lightweight division. Genaro Valdéz, 10 wins and 0 losses. 31 years old for Matt Frevola. A little bit different. They have around the same amount of actual fights. 11, 12 fights for Matt Frevola and 10 fights from Genaro Valdéz, but against way different competition levels. I mean, Matt Frevola fighting Arman Tazariukian, a ranked fighter in the UFC lightweight division. You look right here at lightweight, Arman's at number 13, and Matt Frevola fought him in January of 2021, literally like 1 year ago, and maybe a little bit less, but he fought Armin, then he fought Terrence McKinney, one of the most powerful guys in the lightweight division. First a knockout, and first a knockout. So he's fighting some very legit guys recently, Armin and Terrence. That's absolutely insane. But in the fights that I want to look at are going to be Jalen Turner, Luis Pena, and Lando Venati. If you look at those fights, the wrestling, it was very, very good. He took down Jalen Turner many times in their fight. Took down Luis Pena many times in their fight as well. And his wrestling and grappling looked very, very good in those fights. So that alone leads me to believe that Genaro Valdéz is in for a lot of wrestling. Genaro Valdéz is mainly going to go out there and strike with you. He's got a couple of submission wins out there. 3rd round TKO, 1st round submission, 1st round TKO, 1st round rear naked choke submission. But here, against Matt Frevola, I'm going to give the advantage to Matt Frevola. I do believe Matt, if he wants to, will be able to take down Genaro Valdéz. Genaro, his striking didn't look the best in the last fight with Patrick White on Dana White's Contender Series. He got hit a lot in that very first round. Almost got knocked out, and his cardio did not look good at all. I mean, Matt Frevola has the cardio advantage. He has the striking advantage. He's just overall he's the better striker. He's more powerful. He's got better speed, better technique, more experience against better strikers as well. Matt Frevola is better on the feet, better in the grappling, better in the wrestling. I don't see any factor in the game where Genaro Valdéz will have the advantage. His cardio really isn't there. The striking, as we saw in the last fight, kind of just goes into brawls like that. And if he gets into that type of brawl, Matt Frevola is just going to take him down and beat him on the ground as well. So wherever this fight goes, I do believe Matt Frevola should be able to win the fight, whether it's wrestling, whether it's grappling, whether it's striking, kickboxing, clinching. I believe Matt Frevola does have the advantage, even though, I mean, the record might fool you a little bit. 10 wins, 0 losses is a very, very solid record, but I do believe that Genaro Valdéz is probably going to lose. Every facet of the game, they're pretty even, but Matt Frevola is just a little bit better in all those facets. So I got Matt Frevola winning this fight by a 30-27 decision. Really good fight. In the lightweight division, Michael Morales and Trevin Giles in the welterweight division. If we look right here, Trevin Giles has been fighting some very, very solid guys. The last fight he had was Driscoll Duplessis in the middleweight division. One of the greatest prospects right now and middleweight outside of the UFC rankings. Before that, he was on a 3-fight win streak. James Krause beat him in a very close split decision at middleweight. Then he beat Bavon Lewis in a 3rd round knockout at the middleweight division. Then he beat Roman Dolidze in a unanimous decision in the middleweight division. If you see where I'm going with this, a lot of these fights were in the middleweight division. I think it's a very, very good move for Trevin Giles to move down to the welterweight division, because he was honestly pretty small for that middleweight division. He's going to be a pretty big guy at the welterweight division, but overall, I do believe the wrestling and grappling is going to be very even. I believe the striking is going to be even. I believe every facet of this fight are going to be very, very even. But Michael Morales, Trevin Giles, I would say the kicking game is very even as well. I mean, it's so tough to really give an advantage to either guy, but Trevin Giles' his body kicks, his leg kicks, his high kicks, they've all been shown to be pretty solid. I mean, every time he lands that body kick, like he did against Driscoll Duplessis, it snapped. Every time it's like, boom, it's like a really hard shot. Michael Morales, the exact same thing. Very elusive striker, a lot of body kicks, a lot of front kicks, a lot of leg kicks. The kicking game, I would say, is 50-50, but the boxing game, I'm going to go Michael Morales. Some of you might actually disagree with that one, but I'm going to go Michael Morales, as he is going to have the 5-inch reach advantage. The speed is pretty even. The power is pretty even as well, but I do believe with that reach advantage, they have pretty similar movement, they have pretty similar speed, pretty similar power, but with that reach advantage does come a lot of things. Trevin is going to have to close that distance, and when that does happen, Michael's going to keep on pumping that jab out on Trevin Giles, keep on pumping the 1-2 at, and if Trevin Giles does come too close, makes them a takedown. We saw him many times against Nicole Veretenikov literally just go down get the body lock and just throw him over his shoulder and take him down that way. He's got really good trip takedowns, really good just pick up and slam takedowns. He's a very, very solid wrestler and grappler as well. So I do believe Michael Morales is going to be better in terms of the wrestling and grappling, and I do believe he'll be better in terms of the boxing. The kickboxing, it could be very, very even, but I do believe boxing, wrestling, and grappling does go Michael Morales. I don't see a finish here. I mean, Michael Morales he's gotten a lot of finishes in his career. I believe that Oliveira the Nico fight being a decision was probably a shock to a lot of people, because that was only his second decision win along with a win over Leonardo Belanto, or however you say the name, and this guy is a very legit guy with 16 wins and 4 losses. So this fight, I think, is going to go to a decision. I know the only 3 losses of Trevin Giles have been finishes, guillotine, and a knockout from Driscoll, but I think the fight goes all the way. Michael is better in every facet of the game, pretty even in the kickboxing, but other than that, he's slightly better than Trevin Giles everywhere else. So I'm going to go the undefeated 22.5-year-old prospect, who's going to be lengthier, more powerful, more fast, better wrestler, better grappler, all that good stuff. So my prediction right there, Michael Morales by a 30-27 decision. Really good fight in the welterweight division. Cody Stamann and Saeed Nurmagomedov in the bantamweight division. First off, the age, very, very even, 32 and 29 years old. So no advantages there, but the height and the reach. Oh my lordy lord. 5'8" inches tall, having a 2-inch height advantage over Cody Stamann. That is not what I really want to look at. What I really, really want to look at is the reach. Oh my god, 5.5 inches longer is Saeed Nurmagomedov. That is a significant size advantage for Saeed Nurmagomedov. 14 wins, 2 losses, joining the UFC in 2018, beating Ricardo Ramos by knockout, Justin Scoggins by decision, and knocking out Mark Striegel, as well as losing, sadly, a decision to Ione Barcelos. But overall, I do believe Saeed Nurmagomedov is going to be the better striker. He's going to be taller, he's going to be lengthier, he's very, very elusive, throws a lot of spinning back kicks, spinning back fists, a lot of spinning back kicks, a lot of high kicks, a lot of front kicks, a lot of flying knees. He's a very crazy, elusive, explosive striker, if you will. Just one of those guys. I mean, you wouldn't really expect it from a Nurmagomedov to be a very flashy, crazy striker, but that's what Saeed Nurmagomedov pretty much does in every single fight. He makes the striking very, very crazy. Now, the wrestling, nowhere near like Islam Makhachev, Khabib Nurmagomedov. He is a Nurmagomedov, but he's not really as good of a wrestler as all of those Nurmagomedovs. But his wrestling is pretty solid as well. So I do believe it's really going to come down to, can Saeed Nurmagomedov defend Cody Stamann's takedowns? Cody needs to go out there and wrestle and grapple. And I do believe with Khabib in his corner, with Islam Makhachev in his corner, they will develop a game plan to defend the takedowns of Cody Stamann. This fight will be a striking fight, and Saeed just being taller, being lengthier, more powerful, faster, more elusive, more explosive. I can go on and on. He will win the fight on the feet, but Cody being a very, very durable guy, not getting finished by Rivera or Merab Dvalishvili, he's not going to get finished by Saeed either. So my prediction right there for the bantamweight division, Saeed Nurmagomedov and Cody Stamann. I'm going to go Saeed Nurmagomedov winning that fight by 29-28 decision. Really good fight in the bantamweight division. Rodolfo Vieira and Wellington Turman in the middleweight division. Rodolfo Vieira with 8 wins and 1 loss. He's going to be a little bit older than Wellington Turman. The height's very even, the reach is very even, but we don't even need to look at that type of stuff. Rodolfo Vieira has the grappling advantage. Wellington Turman might have the wrestling advantage because he is a little bit bigger than Rodolfo Vieira. The striking, I would say boxing goes Wellington Turman. I don't know. It's very, very tough because after watching the last fight with Rodolfo Vieira, I could very, very well say that Rodolfo Vieira might actually have the striking advantage as well. He looked absolutely amazing in the striking with Dustin Stoltzfus. His kicking looked good, really good body kicks, really good leg kicks. His jab looked on point, his right hand looked on point. The striking is honestly going to be very, very close here. But I do believe Wellington Turman, I think he actually got taken down by Bruno Silva in their fight. I mean, he got taken down by Andrew Sanchez in their fight as well. I don't think he got taken down in that one, but the thing is, he got taken down by Bruno Silva. He's going to get taken down by Rodolfo Vieira, whether it's in the first round, whether it's in the second round, whether it's in the third round. I believe Rodolfo, with the newfound striking, really improving throughout the last year or two, he's going to make it very even on the feet, but he will get that takedown eventually, and he'll submit Wellington. Pretty much every single fight is mainly a striking fight. Then he ends up taking it down, and he ends up submitting you. Every single win has been a submission or knockout win. What's the one knockout win? Ground pound TKO. So they're all on the ground, they're all finishes, knockout submissions, and I think this one's going to be another one. Wellington Turman just getting taken down by Bruno Silva is not a good look. Rodolfo is a much better wrestler, much better grappler than Bruno Silva, who's just a straight-up striker there. So I believe Rodolfo will strike in the first round and finish Wellington Turman in the second or third round by a submission. Really good fight in the middleweight division. Movsar Evloev and Ilia Topuria in the featherweight division. Ilia Topuria reigning from Georgia, along with guys like Guram Kutateladze. We got Marabdi Wallace-Vili, Ilia Topuria, Giga Chikadze, so many amazing prospects coming from Georgia. And another one that just turned 25 years old about 1 day ago is, of course, going to be Ilia Topuria. As of right now in the featherweight division, I don't even think he's ranked. He probably should be ranked over Alex Caceres, if I'm being quite honest. But as of right now, he's sitting at that number 16 spot, right outside of the top 15, whereas his opponent, Movsar Evloev, is at number 13. They're both undefeated, which is crazy. 11-0 and 15-0 for a 25-year-old and almost a 28 years old. So it's going to be crazy. Two crazy good prospects. The same height right there. A little bit different in the region. Very young in their careers. Not even at their prime. It's going to be crazy. I mean, Ilia is going to have the striking advantage, I believe. He's going to have the kickboxing advantage. Evloev, he might have a slight volume advantage, if I would say that. But Ilia is going to be more powerful. If you look at the fight, when it does happen, I do believe Movsar is going to probably have the amount of volume pretty similar. Maybe outstrike Ilia Topuria by just a little bit. But even though he's going to be outlanding Ilia by maybe a little bit because he does throw a lot of volume, Ilia will be going out there and he will land the much harder shots, not much more harder shots, but he will land the more effective shots, and the shots that the judges will be looking at a lot more than they will at Movsar Evloev's punches. So I do believe in the judges' eyes, Ilia Topuria will have the advantage with the more powerful punches and kicks. Now, in the wrestling and grappling, we already know Ilia Topuria is an absolutely amazing wrestler and grappler, training at a Climate Club over there, not really with too much really good guys over there, but he does train with some very solid guys over there at MMA Masters, some really good wrestlers and grapplers over there. We got Colby Covington, we got Nate Landwehr over there, Ilia Topuria, of course, Miguel Baeza. And there's probably so many other guys that are on here as well. Michael Lilly is a solid guy as well. There's so many guys out here that are very good wrestlers and grapplers. The most notable, of course, going to be Colby Covington, but he is training in an environment where there's a lot of good wrestlers, a lot of good grapplers. Is that alone gonna lead me to believe that Ilia will have the wrestling and grappling advantage? No, it will not. He might have maybe the submission advantage, but will he have the wrestling advantage? I don't think so. Out of all of his wins, most of them are finishes, 7 submission wins and 3 knockouts, and only 1 decision. He's not, I really don't think he's going to submit Movsar Evloev. If he's going to get the finish, it's probably going to be a knockout, because the guys he did submit, they were pretty solid, 8-1, 7-1 right there, and then a couple of knockouts in the UFC, but fighting a guy like Movsar Evloev, never been finished, never even lost a fight, I really don't see such a good grappler like Movsar losing a submission to Ilia Topuria. I can see a knockout from Ilia Topuria, but it'd be very surprising to see Ilia Topuria go out there, get an arm triangle, rear naked, guillotine triangle, whatever the case may be. So I'm ruling out the submission from either guy. If Movsar is not able to get the submission, I don't think Ilia will either, so submission will be off the table. Knockout, I'm going to say right now, Movsar Evloev does not have the power to knock out Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria has the power to knock out Evloev. So the knockout knockout path to victory is definitely there for Ilia, but for Movsar, the only real path to victory is going to be a decision. I've looked through a lot of his fights. I've seen how much power he has. It's not a lie. I've seen the amount of times he goes for the submission and actually gets it. It's not a lie. He only has, I believe, 3 or 4 submission wins in his career against a 0-1 guy, 1-1, 1-3 guy right there, and a 12-3 guy. So that's not a bad submission win right there, but I believe he has retired since then, so again, another one right there. But overall, Movsar Evloev is not going to get the submission, not going to get the knockout. Ilia is not going to get the submission, but may get the knockout. But, of course, the most likely path to victory for both guys probably is not going to be a knockout or a submission, although I do see a very, very good path and a very good likelihood that Ilia could land that knockout shot. But overall, most likely we're gonna see a decision. If Ilia Topuria goes out there and wins the fight, it's gonna be him pretty much keeping the fight at range, and just throwing big shots, staying away from those takedowns. And when Movsar Evloev likes to do what he does and throw some big overhand rights, big left hooks, and then go down for the takedown. Go down for the takedown. When he's going for those big shots, that is when Ilia needs to back up a little bit and counter with a really, really big shot. That is where he's going to land his most effective shots, or right before Movsar Evloev goes for the takedown. When he's trying to set it up with a big shot, that's where Ilia's counter-punching game is really going to take effect. I think if Movsar can continue the pressure for the whole 3 rounds. He does have the cardio advantage. He's got slight better wrestling, not in the takedown accuracy department, but in the amount of times he just consistently just keeps on going for takedowns. It could definitely wear on Ilia. So I do believe Ilia Topuria will win the very first round. I believe Movsar Evloev will win the last round due to Ilia Topuria kind of gassing out a little bit to the pressure, to the volume, to the constant takedown attempts of Movsar Evloev. And it really comes down to that second round. Does Ilia Topuria succumb to the pressure, succumb to the volume, the takedown defense in that second round? I don't think so. The only time I've really seen him gas out, even just a little bit, would maybe be in the Youssef Zalal fight, where he gassed out just a tad bit in that third and final round. I don't think he's going to gas in the first or second. It'll take a little bit longer, so I believe Ilia can fend off the takedowns for the most part early on in that first and second round, win those by outstriking Movsar, landing the more powerful punches, and in that third round, Movsar will make a little comeback and maybe get close to a finish, but overall, Ilia will win the first round, will win the second round, and lose the third, and Ilia Topuria will go to 12-0, and Movsar Evloev will go to 15-1. It's an amazing fight, 2 amazing prospects, undefeated, 1-0 has got to go. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's go. Greg Hardy and Alexei Oleinik in the heavyweight division. This is a tough prediction in that it's very obvious if one person wins, you know exactly how it's going to happen. If Greg Hardy wins right here, it's going to be a pretty easy knockout in the first or second round. If Alexei Oleinik wins, it's going to be a pretty easy submission in the first or second round. Alexei Oleinik is on a 3-fight losing streak right now, losing to Derek Lewis, losing to Chris Dawkins, and losing to Sergey Spivak, also beating Maurice Green and Fabricio Verdum, beat Mark Hahn, Junior Albini, Travis Brown, and so many other guys. He has a literal 59-16-1 record in MMA. Absolutely insane. But he has the wrestling advantage. He has the grappling advantage. Greg Hardy has the striking advantage. He's got the kickboxing advantage. He's got the size advantage, being 3 inches taller, half an inch longer. He's got the age advantage, being 11 years younger than Alexei. So my prediction right here is going to be a pretty obvious one. I'm going to go Greg Hardy to win the fight by knockout in the very first round. 60% are going Oleinik to win the fight by submission. But that would be a good prop to put a bet on. I believe the odds for that are probably going to be very, very good. I'm going to go Greg Hardy by knockout just due to the age of Alexei Oleinik, due to the fact that Greg Hardy, I mean, he hit, I don't know. He's younger, he's taller, he's lengthier, he's more powerful, he's just a better striker. If Alexei Oleinik goes out there and gets the bow constructor rear naked, gets the, what was that submission that he got on Maurice Green? I forgot the submission he always gets. I'm forgetting the name, but if he gets some random submission, I would not be surprised. But I'm gonna go great cardio by knockout right there. Would not be surprised if Oleinik does not really surprise us, but gets a submission right there. But overall, I got great cardio going out there, keeping the fight on the feet, using his strength, using his size, defending the takedowns, and getting the knockout in the first or second round. Really good fight in the heavyweight division right there. Brandon Moreno and Deiveson Figueiredo 3 as the co-main event for Ngannou versus Gane, UFC 270. Now, Brandon Moreno and Deiveson Figueiredo, they're going to have 3 fights against each other in a row. The first fight was a draw, and it was a majority draw. Deiveson Figueiredo would have actually won the fight if not for, I believe, I'm trying to remember what the point was taken for. Maybe a ball shot, maybe an eye poke. I'm really not remembering why the point was taken from Deiveson Figueiredo, but a point was taken, and that was the reason it was a draw. But if you look at the fight, Deiveson Figueiredo, without the point deduction, would have won the fight. In the second time over, it was completely different. The first fight was very, very close. Of course, a draw is going to be a very, very close fight. The second fight, not so much. I believe that Brandon Moreno probably did enough to win every single round there. If we go into UFC stats, I'm going to look at the striking differential from both guys as well as the grappling differential, because we do know Moreno ended up winning the fight by a submission right there, showing that he does have the grappling and wrestling advantage, and that he probably is able to use that in this fight as well. But if we look right here on their last fight, 47-24 with 1 knockdown from Moreno, 71-33 on regular strikes, and then 2 takedowns to 1 takedown in the wrestling and grappling department. But as of right now, I would say Moreno is going to have the striking advantage. The only area Figueiredo was really able to get off his shots was in the closer distance, as we saw a lot of body shots right there. At range, he was really not able to land on the head of Brandon Moreno. Just really could not find the target. And Moreno, he's got way better boxing. His speed looked a little bit better. His cardio is definitely going to be a lot better than Deiveson Figueiredo in this fight. But he's just overall the better boxer, in my opinion. He lands way more shots to the head, almost 3 times the amount of shots to the head as well. He's got the grappling advantage, he's got the wrestling advantage, was able to take him down 2 times and submit him. So I believe Moreno will have the grappling advantage. I believe he'll have the wrestling advantage. And on the feet, maybe early on, Deiveson can give some trouble to Brandon Moreno, as he does have a lot of power in his hands. Maybe Deiveson can win the first round, maybe win the second round. But after that, a guy like Deiveson Figueiredo, a lot bigger than Brandon Moreno, that size advantage over Moreno is not going to really be a size advantage, as he's going to be a lot more gas than Moreno in those later rounds. Towards the later rounds, Moreno with that cardio advantage, he's going to go out there, he's going to pressure him with the boxing, take him down, and maybe even submit him again, and maybe even knock out Deiveson Figueiredo, as he was close to in their second encounter. But as of right now, I do think that Deiveson Figueiredo, he's got a shot. I mean, he has a lot of power. Out of those 20 wins he does have in his career, he's got 9 knockouts and 8 submissions, so he's got the opportunity for a finish. I just don't see it happening. I see Moreno surviving the early rounds with those really big shots, and then just absolutely clobbering Figueiredo in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round. Maybe the fight goes to a decision, but maybe we see a late finish. I'm very torn on what to go for. A 3rd, 4th, 5th round finish, or the fight actually goes all the way. But I think that weight cut is really going to go to Deiveson Figueiredo, and I do think Moreno will catch another finish here in the 4th or 5th round. So yeah, that is my prediction. I believe Moreno has the advantage in every facet of the game. I mean, after watching that last fight, he's got cardio advantage, he's got the boxing advantage, he's got the kickboxing advantage, he's got the wrestling, he's got the grappling. Maybe the power was Deiveson, but again, there's so many other things going Moreno, and that is why I have him winning the fight by 4th round. Let's go knockout right there. Really good fight in the co-main event right there. Like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's go. Francis Ngannou and Ciryl Gane in the heavyweight division. Oh my god, it's going to be a crazy fight. Before I get into my prediction, I want you guys all to go down in the comment section below. Put who you guys got between Ciryl Gane and Francis Ngannou, because as you all know, it is a very 50-50 fight. If we look at the best fight odds, the actual betting odds for the fight are more 50-50 than you could really even make it. Minus 115, minus 105. This odds site has Francis Ngannou as the underdog. This odds site has it completely flipped. So literally every single one of them is at least a 50-50 one, or they're very, very slightly leaning one guy to the other. It's so close. And if Ngannou's going to win, it's going to be a knockout. If Ciryl Gane wins, it'll be a late finish or a decision. I cannot wait for the fight. I cannot wait to see what you guys think about it as well. Put that in the comment section below. But as for what I think, Ciryl Gane is going to have the age advantage right now, 31 years and 9 months. Not necessarily going to have the size advantage, but he makes up for that size with speed. Yes, Francis Ngannou is going to be a little bit bigger. Yes, he's going to be more powerful. Yes, he's going to be a little... No, he's not even going to be lengthier. They're the same height and the same reach. But yeah, yes, he's going to be bigger, but Ciryl Gane is way, way faster. He showed that in his fights with Volkov, with Jairzinho Rozenstruik, even with Derrick Lewis, and all of those fights. The speed of Ciryl Gane is unlike any other fighter in the heavyweight division. One of the best jabs in heavyweight history, in my opinion. I think that's really what's going to come down to who wins this fight. It's really Ciryl Gane. Can you keep on consistently throughout the fight, going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, over and over and over again, without getting caught by that counter left hook or the big right hand? That is what we got to consider. Can Ciryl Gane make that entry, get that jab, get that pop 1-2, and get out in time to stay away from the danger that Francis Ngannou does present? We have no idea. We have to wait for the fight to happen. So that is why anyone out there saying Ngannou by knockout, okay, that is a very, very likely thing to happen. It can take a split second in the 5th and final round with 10 seconds left, and Ngannou just does exactly what he did to Jairzinho Rozenstruik and knocks out Ciryl Gane. That could happen. That is a very, very likely thing to happen. But I think Ciryl Gane is going to have the cardio advantage over Ngannou. He's got the speed advantage over Ngannou. He has the volume advantage over Ngannou. He's got the grappling advantage over Ngannou in terms of submissions. So if he needs to in the later rounds, he can pepper a couple of takedown defense here and there. Sorry, not takedown defense. Takedown attempts here and there on Francis Ngannou, just to get Francis Ngannou thinking about that. And then as he's going down for those fake takedowns, pepper him up with the jab, pepper him up with the 1-2, and just keep on hitting him, keep on going in and out over and over and over again. And again, I'm going to go Ciryl Gane decision right here, but I will not blame you for going Ngannou by a knockout right here. I will not blame you whatsoever, because he has the power. One shot changes everything in the heavyweight division, and especially for Francis Ngannou. So I'm going to go Ciryl Gane. I am very weary of seeing Ciryl Gane just unconscious on the floor. That is, again, very, very likely. But I think Ciryl Gane will use that speed, stay on the outside, go in and out throughout 5 straight rounds, and win. I'm going to go 4 rounds. I think there's going to be a moment, at least one moment, where Ngannou clips Ciryl Gane and maybe edges out the round on the judges' scorecard. Other than that, 4 rounds to 1, Ciryl Gane decision. Crazy fight in the heavyweight division. Well, who do you guys have winning that one? Like, subscribe, and everything like that, and we'll see you in the next video. Let's go. But yeah, guys, that is my full card prediction for UFC 270 Ngannou versus Gane. I have Kay Hansen winning her fight by decision. Jack Della Maddalena winning that one right there. Yeon Kim winning. I have Tony Gravely winning. I have Alexa Grasso winning. Matt Frevola, Michael Morales, Nurmagomedov, Rodolfo Vieira, Ilia Topuria, Greg Hardy, Brandon Moreno, and I have Ciryl Gane as well. So in terms of who are my maybe underdogs of the night, and in terms of like maybe they will win as well, I don't actually have them winning, but I see the fight being much closer than the betting odds do suggest. Jasmine Jasudavicius could definitely be an underdog there. Warlley Alves with the submissions can 1000% be an underdog. Saimon Oliveira is a good underdog. I think that's pretty much it. Those 3 right there are pretty decent underdogs in my opinion. Saimon Oliveira, Warlley Alves, and Jasmine Jasudavicius. But those are my full card predictions for UFC 270 Ngannou versus Gane. If you guys liked the video, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to put on notifications. We post videos like this pretty much every single day. I mean, we post so many videos on the channel, so what are you guys waiting for? Make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on those notifications. And if you want to see all of my MMA bets, whether it's for UFC, whether it's for Bellator, or whether it's for PFL, whatever the case may be, if you want to see all of the bets, all the gambling advice that I will be giving, you can become a member for $3 a day right here. It's $2.99 a month for all of my MMA bets. So go to your desktop mode and just become a member for $3 a month to get every single one of my bets for literally every MMA organization. It's literally 10 cents a day. But thank you guys for watching that video. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you in the next one. Let's go.